Hello and welcome. You spend your whole life working, saving, building something you can be proud of. But have you ever stopped to think what happens to all that hard work when you're no longer here? Today, we're going to talk about exactly that, how you can secure your legacy and make sure everything you've built is protected for the people who matter most. It really all boils down to this one single question, doesn't it? How do I protect my children's inheritance? And this goes way beyond just money. It's about that peace of mind, knowing that the people you love are going to be okay. So how can you be sure that what you've built actually gets to them totally safe and sound? This quote just hits the nail on the head. Planning for what happens after you're gone, it's not just a numbers game. It's deeply emotional. It's really your final act of taking care of your family, making sure that your values, your love, all of that gets passed on right alongside your assets. Now, thankfully, answering that really big, emotional question doesn't have to be some huge, overwhelming thing. There's actually a structured approach designed for this exact challenge. It's a specialized process, and it's called Bloodline Planning. And it's all about creating a really clear, secure path for your family's future. So what is it exactly? Well, think of bloodline planning as using the tools of will writing and estate planning to build a kind of financial fortress around your assets. The whole point is to make sure they're shielded from outside claims and they stay within your family, your bloodline, preserving your legacy not just for your kids, but for their kids too. It's your most direct path to that peace of mind we were just talking about.
Okay, but before you can build that fortress, you've got to know what you're defending against, right? It turns out there are some pretty common threats, risks you can actually see coming, that can completely derail your plans and stand in the way of your legacy.
And let's be super clear here. This isn't about being negative or pessimistic. It's about being strategic. Once you understand what the potential roadblocks are, you can build a plan that takes them apart, piece by piece. When it comes to estate planning, knowledge isn't just power. It's genuine protection. And what's interesting is these threats pop up at three very different stages. The first one, it can show up while you're still alive, kind of chipping away at everything you've built. The second threat emerges right after you're gone, when your estate is in that vulnerable phase of being settled. And the third and final threat, well, it follows your assets as they move on to the next generation, putting their inheritance at risk. So you see, every step of this journey has its own unique set of challenges. But here is the good news. For every single one of those risks, there is a pillar of protection designed to counter it. This is where we stop playing defense and start using a proactive, really powerful strategy. This chart just lays it out so perfectly. For the threat of losing assets while you're still living, you have will writing protection. For the risk of your wishes getting lost in the shuffle after you're gone, there's estate planning direction. And to deal with a heavy tax burden on your heirs, you use estate asset mitigation. See? It's a direct countermove for every single threat.
So let's just quickly break these down. How does each one of these pillars actually work in the real world?
First up, will writing protection. This is all about safeguarding your assets right now, today. Just think about the absolutely astronomical costs of long-term care, for instance. That alone can wipe out an entire estate. This pillar helps you structure things so you can get the care you might need without having to sacrifice the inheritance you've worked so hard to leave behind. The second pillar, estate planning direction, is really all about control. This is what guarantees your legacy goes exactly where you intend it to. Without this kind of planning, for example, an inheritance you left for your child could be at risk if they later go through a messy divorce. This pillar makes sure your original intentions are honored, no matter what life throws at your loved ones down the road. And finally, we have estate asset mitigation. This one's about being smart and maximizing what you actually pass on. And look, this isn't about tax evasion or anything shady. It's about tax efficiency. By using totally legal, established strategies, you can seriously reduce the tax hit on your estate. That means more of its value is preserved for your family, instead of going to the tax man.
So we've gone through the threats, the pillars, the plans, all the nuts and bolts. But when you strip all that technical stuff away, you realize this is about something so much bigger than just paperwork. It's really about the story you're going to leave behind.
At the end of the day, the real thing you get from all this planning isn't a stack of documents in a folder. It's a feeling. It's that deep, profound comfort, that peace of mind you get from knowing for sure that your family is going to be looked after because of the smart choices you made today. And that really brings us to our final thought. Your legacy is the story of you that will continue long after you're gone. It's a story about your work, your values, your love. The planning we've talked about today, that's just the pen you use to write the final chapter. So the only question left is, what do you want your story to say? Thanks for joining us.